ATACMS can be sent to Ukraine before the end of April. The provision of these long-range missiles is included in the long-awaited American bill to support Ukraine. After a 7-month delay, the U.S. House of Representatives brought the decision on almost $61 billion for Ukraine and ATACMS missiles as well to the finish line.
Now, in the last 2 years, with less than 3% of our defense budget, 2 years running, with the Ukrainians have eliminated 87% of the Russians' pre-existing ground forces, 63% of their tanks, 32% of their armored personnel carriers, without a single American soldier lost, because of the courage of the Ukrainians and the equipment they've received from us and from our European allies. I hope once this bill gets to the president by Tuesday or Wednesday that these shipments will be literally launched with that longer-range ATACMS. Mark Warner, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, in an interview with CBS News.
The U.S. decision on assistance for Ukraine will come into force after the Senate vote and Joe Biden signs it. At the same time, congressmen left the president the right not to transfer long-range missiles to Ukraine if he considers that this is dangerous for the United States itself. However, such a scenario is unlikely, experts say.
The Biden administration, President Biden, may reject this demand, arguing accordingly on issues of national security of the United States. But this is unlikely to happen, because until recently the main argument for not providing Ukraine with ATACMS missiles was the issue of blocking military financial assistance to Ukraine by the House of Representatives. At the moment, the President of the United States, in fact, has no arguments to refuse Ukraine the provision of weapons with a radius of more than 300 kilometers.
Ukraine has been persistently arguing for the need for ATACMS for almost 2 years. After all, even if partner countries do not allow their weapons to be used to strike targets in Russia, long-range missiles will reach the enemy in all Russian-occupied territories of Ukraine.
What is 300 kilometers? This is in fact all the occupied territories of Ukraine, including the territory of temporarily occupied Crimea. That is, the armed forces of Ukraine will be able to keep the real logistics of the occupation forces under fire control. We've seen how successfully we can keep it out of the attacks on Sevastopol and accordingly other centers of concentration of manpower and equipment of the invaders in the occupied Ukrainian territories.
Ukrainian government does not give specific dates in which it expects to receive ATACMS missiles, but the agreement between Zelensky and Biden has already been announced. Ukrainian armed forces are closer to using these American long-range ammunition than ever before.
It is no secret that the Ukrainian authorities are working fruitfully with the American side on various types of weapons. I cannot comment on everything in the press, but of course, the approval of the appropriate funds brings a positive solution for Ukraine closer. Igor Zhovkva, deputy head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, on the air of the National Telethon.
Providing ATACMS missiles to Ukraine has not only practical but also symbolic significance, analysts say. Following Washington, more than once decisions on arms transfers have been made by Berlin. Therefore, Kiev has a new argument for intensifying negotiations with Germany on the transfer of long-range Taurus missiles. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Valeria Nekipelova, UATV News.